What's going on, muscle monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and in this video I want to go over 5 tips for bulking up fast, particularly for those naturally skinny guys who find it hard to gain weight and build muscle. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Tip number 1 is wake up earlier. Alright, and the reason you want to wake up earlier is really just so that you can start eating earlier on in the day. Right? Because it's going to be a lot easier to consume 3,500 calories in the span of, say, 16 hours than it is, if you try to pack them all into 12 hours. Whether you wake up earlier or wake up at the same time and just start eating earlier doesn't make a difference. The idea is very simple. Start eating earlier so that you have more time in the day to have more calories or to reach your calorie goals. Tip number 2, homemade weight gain shakes. Okay, I'm not talking about buying some weight gainer powder from the supplement store, right? We need to ensure that we're getting our vitamins, our minerals, and things of that nature. So instead, what I would recommend is start having at least one homemade weight gain shake per day. These could add, anywhere from 800 to over 1,000 calories in less than 5 minutes. So what I would recommend is, maybe use some whole milk, throw some protein powder in there, but then add some, bananas or peanut butter, some oats and things of that nature, blend it all up and drink that. This is going to allow you to, number 1, get a lot of calories in a short period of time, but also because this is now a semi-solid food, it's not going to be as satiating, which means that you're going to be able to eat a lot of calories and still be hungry shortly thereafter. So again, incorporate at least one of those per day, and if you can do that while keeping everything else the same, chances are that should be enough to put you into that necessary caloric surplus. Tip number 3, start drinking liquid calories. All right, now you don't want to get, more than probably 15 to 20% of your calories from liquids. And I'm saying 20% for those of you who have a lot of calories that you need to hit. But ideally, we keep it at 15% or even lower. But the idea is, because these calories are, number 1, not satiating at all, they're gonna allow you to get in calories without filling you up and disrupting your appetite, for example. But also because when we're sitting down to eat, typically we're drinking something, right? So if you're drinking water in the morning with your breakfast, instead maybe have a glass of orange juice or chocolate milk. Same thing with dinner. You're probably sitting down and having some Diet Coke or having some water or whatever the case may be. Instead, have either, a protein shake with some milk or some chocolate milk, or even, again, some juice. And the reason we want to do this is because if we can do that over the course of 3 meals, that's going to add another 600 plus calories to our daily intake without essentially changing anything. Okay, so if you're someone who's like me, who just drinks water, well, maybe start incorporating these liquid calories into your diet, simply just to give you a little assistance in hitting your overall calories for the day. But again, we don't want to overconsume liquid calories, because obviously that's going to be a very easy way to overeat. Not to mention, we still want to get our solid foods in so that we can get our fiber in and we can get our vitamins and minerals right through our fruits and veggies and things of that nature. But again, if you struggle to eat enough to gain weight, this could be a simple fix for you. Tip number 4, eat on a schedule. Our metabolism is extremely adaptive. So if you're like I was, you kind of just get up, go about your day, you're keeping busy, you're hanging out with your buddies, you're going to work, doing all these things, and then you're just sitting down to eat occasionally and sporadically, right? And the problem with that is that once you do try to eat more calories than you have been, it becomes difficult because you're never hungry, right? There's not specific times in the day where your body's like, hey, feed me, right? Because your schedule is all over the place. But if you intentionally set a schedule, say for example, you force yourself to have breakfast upon rising, right? And then you force yourself, or you set an alarm for you to have lunch around lunchtime or maybe noon, right? And then maybe 2 times after that, okay? And you did that for a week straight and you stayed on that schedule, well, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna start to feel hungry around those times. So you're essentially training yourself to be hungry at certain times. Okay, so once you are at a point where now you're eating breakfast, you're eating lunch, you're having dinner, you're having a pre-bed shake or meal or whatever the case may be, and your appetite is there, now you can slowly start increasing the calories that you have per sitting so that you are able to eat enough without having to force feed yourself meals at random times of the day. And then last but not least, probably the most important, is track and adjust. We all have seen these different calculations for how many calories you should consume, and these are great, but they serve only as a starting point. Okay, so if I tell you, hey, do this calculation, and you do that calculation, that doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna be eating enough. It simply means that this is a good place to start. So once you start, what I want you to do is I want you to track and adjust. Track your calories, make sure you're hitting those numbers. Track your weight each morning to see what's happening, and then at the end of the week, I want you to get an average of all of your weigh-ins, right? As long as you keep your physical activity the same, and as long as you're hitting that same amount of calories every day, right, that average is going to be a good indication as to whether or not you're eating enough. Okay, so track your weight every day. Make sure you're tracking your calories every day, and then at the end of the week, get an average. Once you have 2 averages from 2 weeks of doing this, you're going to be able to get a better idea of whether or not your weight is increasing or staying the same. If it's staying the same, then you know, okay, all I got to do is add another 250 calories, keep everything else the same, and I will be in a surplus. Okay, if you're already in a surplus, then you want to keep eating the same amount, keep your physical activity where it is, and then continue tracking so that you know when you've stalled. And once you've stalled, it's just as easy as making that slight adjustment. So as long as you have that data, gaining weight or being in a surplus, ensuring that you're eating enough becomes 10 times easier because again, you have the data. So that's pretty much it, guys. Those are my 5 tips for bulking up if you are a naturally skinny guy who finds it hard to gain weight and build muscle. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, click the like button below. Do not forget to subscribe for more videos. And before you go, I have a special gift for you. I want to give you, a copy of my acclaimed book, Bulk Up Fast. In this book, you're going to get everything you need to know about nutrition, particularly for naturally skinny guys who struggle to gain weight. You're gonna get meal plans that you can follow. You're gonna get a 90-day workout program that you can follow that's going to ensure that you're maximizing your efforts in the gym, along with a ton of other things. The thing is, over 230 pages or so. So make sure to claim your free copy. Go to the link in the description. Tell me where to send it. All you have to do is cover the shipping. I've already paid for the book. Okay, so cover the shipping and I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. Again, I appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.